Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio. I am your host, Kelly Meehan, a citizen of the universe and a passage keeper and mentor for our new Earth children. I believe we are entering into a new psychic structure of our reality, and it is meant to embody deeper trust and ways into solid self-love and fearless integrity. Our new world energy of spirit babies needs us to consciously create within conception, trust pregnancy, and have freedom to birth and parent from innate wisdom. This is Spirit Baby Radio. Welcome to episode 231, December 2025, Passion and Creativity, the Heart Service of Entrepreneurship. The New Earth is asking for innovative thinkers and creators on a heart's mission to support our world. Are you a healer or holistic practitioner? What kind of passion do you need for success? How can you support others while allowing life to support you? I have a special guest episode and I'm just laughing and smiling, and it is Connie. Say hello, Connie.
Hello, everybody.
We have big smiles and we're laughing. You'll be able to see it on the YouTube version of this podcast, but we were just having a good old time before. I'm gonna get back to
Well, we go
laughing.
way back, so
Yes, and we're going to talk about that. Absolutely. I want to share just a little bit of Connie's beautiful bio here. Connie Costa, for over 2 decades, has been a luminous force in the world of spiritual transformation, empowering hundreds of coaches, healers, and visionaries to birth the soul-aligned business that they were always meant to lead. But her path was not paved in ease. When she first stepped into her calling as a coach, she lived through trial after trial, painful failures, unexpected setbacks, and moments that shattered her only to rebuild her stronger, wiser, and infinitely more compassionate. These challenges become her initiation. Connie's devotion to excellence, authenticity, and spiritual integrity is the heartbeat of her work. Every experience she creates, whether a retreat, a ceremony, an article, or a private session, is infused with intention, magic, and a fierce commitment to her clients' liberation and expansion. I love this. Her motto is fall in love with fear so you can marry success. And she lives it, guiding every soul she touches to remember who they are, embody their sacred gifts, and rise into a life that is beautifully, powerfully, undeniably their own. Wow, so poetic. Thank you, Connie, for being here.
thank you so much for inviting me, beautiful Kelly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate you.
I most of my podcasts, I always go back, like, how did we meet, how we connect? And the first thing that jumps in my mind is Antioch University was our love story.
How our love
And
story began.
yes, yes, a little tiny Marina Del Rey by the ocean, this high-rise building, and Connie was my boss, kind of. Yeah, Connie was my boss. Look, yeah. And she ran, what was it? You ran the admissions, kind of financial
Mhm.
aid, admissions, yeah. So she
Admissions,
ran,
admissions.
yeah. And she was a powerhouse, man, back then. I'm like, you just sparked over so many years of your own growth, and we instantly became friends and we connected with the world of spirituality. And how many years ago have we known each other then now?
25 years.
Wow. And you look like you're
And we're
25. I
only 20.
was
Yeah,
like, why do you
exactly.
look so young?
And both of us are only 29. So
I
we
know,
started more.
right? Isn't that weird? That's so wild. Wow. I didn't realize it's been so many years.
It
And
has.
me and Connie, even when we fell in and out of our own lives, we come back together, which has been really beautiful and so happy in my heart. And but
Polar
yeah,
opposites of the
I've
world.
yeah,
Or
I
like
wanted Connie
well,
on my podcast for quite some time. Was waiting for those right moments to have her.
yeah.
And I do feel like we are in such a different time of how we support humanity, right? There's so much to that. Yeah, but tell us a little bit more about, I shared your bio, but a little bit more about, like, what I heard in that bio was like, ooh, like, you're not making it sound like, oh, this is just easy, just go do this, right? It's like, oh, there's a lot of trial. There's like, am I doing this? Am I not? Am I giving up? Where's the new angle? Like, that's where I feel like an entrepreneurship is is inevitable, you know?
Absolutely. And I never want to make it sound easy because it's
Yeah.
not. I don't know anybody, unless they're lying, who is an entrepreneur who doesn't have like this going on, you know? And it's normal. There are going to be challenges. and excuse me, and it makes you stronger. And so I have been doing this for quite some time now, and there have been very challenging moments. And I don't think there's ever a moment where you get there and then that's it. It's all easy peasy for the rest of your life,
Interesting.
and
Yes.
it's you suddenly get like 1 million clients and $10 million. I like, and it's easy from then on out. No, there are always going to be challenges no matter who you are, right? And so I like to keep it real, and I like to say that that is the case, because a lot of people are chasing that. They're like, if I just get to that part, if I just get to that part of my business, and it's like,
Yes.
what is that part? It's more about enjoying who you're becoming, right? The person that you're becoming, the journey, being of service. That's the main, that's the juice of it, in my opinion.
I was just talking to someone, I think was it a few days ago? I've been meeting a lot of speakers and different people on different platforms, and she said to me, really amazing storyteller, this woman, and she said, if I could do this work for free, like, and she has her background is in psychology and she has clients, but she's doing all this other stuff. She said, I would, I would do it regardless. And it really, I loved when she said that because I was thinking about that last week and it comes like, I was like, let's say we didn't have to make money in this world. I was like, I would still be doing this actually. It feels right. And it feels like we're all here to help and love each other. And if I can offer something that's unique to that, I was like, it felt really good to sit in that, by the way. I was like, because then it's like I'm taking away the whole like, oh, the whole I know that I need the money, I need the money. That's what comes up with a lot of people. And then it's like something just shifts more and then the people just show up, to be honest. I'm not trying to be like bragging, but it was like my
You're totally
open
bragging.
energy. Yeah, my energy of ease was like, oh, like, and sometimes we do have quiet spaces, I feel, but I think they're important. I think that's our reboot to go,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, absolutely. And then, first of all, what you just said, absolutely. That's how, because a lot of clients come to me and they're like, I don't know what my life purpose is, right? And the first question is, well, if you did know what it was, what would it be?
Yeah,
Right?
I like
Because it's
that. That's a good one. That's a
because
good
then they're like,
one.
oh, well, it would be
I like
this.
that. I
That's
like
it.
that. That's good.
And then, but then if they insist, it's like, well, what if you had all the money and the time in the world, what would you be doing? Like if money was not an issue, okay,
Mm.
you have $10 billion in the bank. And,
Mm.
besides, of course, people are going to say travel and da
Yeah,
da
of
da. Yeah,
course.
you're going to get bored after a while if you're just doing that, right?
I like that. You're gonna
What
get
how
bored.
do you want to serve? Unless that's really like some people, that is their passion, is like
Yeah.
traveling and like, taking people on beautiful
Oh yeah, yeah.
excursions and stuff like that. But what would you be doing? And so I have people think about like, what does their space look like, right? Like
Mm.
if you go in their home, what does their house look like? What pictures do they have up? What objects? What do they always talk about? What are they reading about? When they're having conversations, what kind of conversations do they love to have?
Mm.
And that, like, what is your passion, right? And those are the things, that's like, those are the ingredients to get you to understand what your life purpose is. Because like you come to my house and you're gonna see crystals and angels, right? You're gonna see do what you love, you're gonna see
Yeah.
books, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, so if, even if $10 billion in the bank, this is what I would be doing, because this is my
Yeah.
passion. This is what I love to read about, research. I'm sure you're the same. Like this is what interests you, right? And to
Yeah.
be of service and to be able to help other people. This is it. So absolutely, I agree with her. What would you be doing if
Yeah.
time were not an issue? What is it that you would love to do? And focus on that. Do what you love.
I know, I love that. Look at that. Do what you love. I love
Do
that.
what
And
you love.
I want to kind of go back because I love your story of how you got into this work because you weren't met with positivity. And how hard that is. Like I think we go, "Oh my gosh, no one believes me or like I'm just going to give up." I mean, don't people do that? Like I felt like when I was in school, I wasn't a very good student and I was told really negative things, but I was like, so there was some light in me that said, you know what, maybe you should do it anyways, even if they think you suck at it. I was like, uh-oh. And that's why I went to Antioch University. That's 100% why I was like, I'm going to get my bachelor's and show the world that I'm college educated and I'm smart
Oh,
enough for
sweetheart,
it.
and you
That
did.
that was and that school saved me and they were so incredible. And I'll never
Yeah.
forget one teacher's like, because I was struggling with words and writing, which is interesting because now I have a book and I write. But then
Right.
I was told I had a
Mhm.
lot of writing anxieties that no one ever looked. I literally I didn't know how to write and I froze because of all the trauma of through education. And I remember this one teacher was like, I want you to just do a book report on pictures. And I was like, what? And he's like, and he looked at it and goes, there's too many words. And there was like a few paragraphs. But he was like really amazing to do that to me because he was trying to show me that intelligence and learning is not what we think it is,
Yeah.
right? That
Hmm.
it can come through a presentation of imagery and conversation. And I mean, that was incredible. So I know like that, that's why I went to college, not to get a job. I was like, I need to prove to the world. So tell us a little bit about your foundation of what stepped you into this.
So, I wanted to originally be a psychotherapist for children. And I even did some social work. And then I read a book that changed my life. It's probably behind me somewhere called Why Your Life Sucks by Alan Cohen. And the title, right? The title alone. It's such an amazing title, Why Your Life Sucks. And so there was the first book, because I was not an avid reader, but it was the first book that I read literally from like cover to cover within
Mm.
days because I could not put it down. And I said, this is what I want to do, whatever he does, which he was a life coach, a speaker, a writer. I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to, get these tools and bring them to the world because I felt like in psychology, especially 25 years ago, there were a
Mm.
lot of like question marks. Like, this happens, but we don't know why this happens. And I felt like in spirituality and metaphysics, all the new age stuff, like it really answered a lot of questions that I had. And so I really loved and became so passionate about it that I wanted the world to know about it.
Mm.
But as you just said, people didn't agree with me. I mean, we're talking about, I started learning about this, around 25 years ago, and I started my own business as a coach in 2007. That's a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
And back then, nobody even knew what a life coach was. I mean, people would be
Yeah.
like, "You're a coach? You're like a basketball coach?" I'm
Yeah,
like, "Yeah,
yeah.
because I'm so athletic, right? Like, look at me." Like, no. So they didn't know. And then I had mentors in college, right, that I looked up to, people that I thought were amazing. And when I told them about my idea, yeah, they were very harsh. I mean, I was
Wow.
told that I was going into a joke of a career.
Wow.
I was told that I was going to be unprofessional. You're leaving a super respected professional, job for a joke. What are you doing, right?
Mm.
And but this is what I learned years later, thanks to Alan Cohen, because
Yeah.
Alan Cohen actually became my mentor. He actually I actually took courses
And
from
you met him,
him.
right? You have a picture with him.
Oh, I took several courses with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's somebody yeah, to
Yeah.
this day I still ask him for advice and stuff. And so I
Awesome.
love, love, love Alan Cohen. He's definitely one of my mentors. And I got my coaching certificate from Alan Cohen, from
Oh,
his school,
nice.
from his hostilic. Yeah. So that was amazing. But I discovered through him that what happens is when we are insecure about something,
Mm.
when we have any insecurities, we create characters, right? We have to remember that
Mm.
we're constantly creating our own stories, right? We have to remember that. And so when we're insecure, we create these characters that are simply showing us what's going on inside. They're
Mm.
simply showing us our insecurities. Otherwise, it wouldn't bother us. It wouldn't
Yeah.
because we wouldn't resonate with it. We'd be like, if somebody right now comes in and goes, God, your green shirt is so ugly. I'd be like, it's not green. That was weird. What a weird person. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
whatever. It wouldn't resonate, right? But if it's something that you feel is there's truth to it, that's when it hurts. And so the
Mm.
truth is, I was insecure about, oh my gosh, I I just spent $10 billion on this education, on this master's
Yeah.
degree, right? Master's degree in clinical psychology. And I'm gonna go do something that is, yeah, it's not even known. And am I
Mm,
making the right decision? But these are all subconscious belief. Like it wasn't
hmm.
even something that I really realized was going on. But later I realized that, yeah, this is why all these characters were coming up just to show me what was going on inside. It was my own insecurities. And furthermore, it was not just, my mentors there in college, and it was not just them. It would be random people that I would meet, and they would say, "What do you do?" And I would say, "I'm a life coach." And they would say, "A life coach? Well, what do you need for that? Do you like a degree, a certificate? What is that? Like what qualification?"
Yeah,
It was
right.
very like, like what is that, right? And and then I would be like, well, I mean, I have a master's degree in clinical psychology, but I did get a certification
Yeah.
through Alan Cohen.
Oh gosh.
Once I became secure and confident in my work and felt like, okay, I'm a really good coach, no one asked me those questions ever again.
Wow. Right?
Never, of course, because you step into your power,
Yeah.
you walk into a room owning that room. Somebody says, "What do you do?" And you have this like presence, this like confidence of like, "This is what I do, and I'm so passionate about it, and I feel so good about it." And if you know anybody who could, use my services, like you're excited
Yeah.
about it. And so people don't ask. They don't even question you. They're not going to ask you. They're just going to be like, "Wow, I want some of whatever she's having," right? Like they get
Yeah.
excited with you. And so it was my own insecurities. But yes, to answer your question, I was met with a lot of people who definitely made fun of or put down the coaching career. And then only, fast forward later, everyone in Los Angeles, when I go back to Los Angeles, because I live in Italy, when I go back to Los Angeles, everyone's a life coach. Everyone's a healer. Everyone's a life coach. I'm like, this is so weird. What is this parallel
What
reality?
happened?
What happened? Like, I just remember back in the day, like talking about meditation and like crystals and like organic eating and I was looked at like she is an evil witch. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you went through the same, right? As a matter of fact, distant family members of mine had a meeting with my parents. I didn't even know this. They
Oh
had
my
a
gosh, no
meeting with
way.
my parents. With my parents, I was an
Oh
adult.
my
Okay.
gosh, a
They met with
meeting.
my
We got a
parents.
meeting for Connie. Something's up.
Yes, they're like, she's going into like the wrong, like she's basically like she's turning into a witch. She's going into the dark side. You should be concerned. We saw that she's
What?
like hanging out with people who are mediums, and they talk to the dead. My parents, thank goodness, are really
Yeah.
smart, intelligent people. Like they know their daughter. They know I'm like super spiritual and like, I'm like all about God, angels, Jesus Christ. So they knew not to pay attention. but but that was, the mentality. And now you can't even go into like a clothing store without seeing Buddha,
Yeah.
meditation, incense, go
I
into a coffee
know.
store and you see it and I'm like,
I know.
yeah.
It's a
Okay.
2025 is a good time for people like us.
It
Consciousness,
is.
I was saying that the other day, consciousness has expanded so much that there was a time, I actually feel like I know the pandemic was such a restructuring of this reality, but it really opened people to so many things that they were not even open to and not even thought about being open to. So I definitely have seen that too, like the more expansiveness, like the universal energy, the spiritual energy is more common now. Like it's accepted. Like people are like people don't have to fight. I feel like back in the day, it's like, oh, I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not religious. And people would have this whole like conversations like, all
What
right,
does that
whatever.
mean? What does that
Yeah,
mean? Well, how could you be
yes. What
spiritual
does
but
that
not
mean? There's
religious?
yes, that's it. That was the line all
Oh
the
yeah,
time.
that doesn't
And
make
I
any
know,
sense. You need to give me. Well, are you Catholic? Are
yeah,
you Christian? Are you just
yes.
tell me? And it's like, oh my goodness.
I'm like none of those things. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what's happening? But it's just, yeah. And, yeah, just how you're met with all that. It's not like, and then you come into this space now, and I'm curious. So I say 2025, like all these different, I call them healer entrepreneurs. And, actually, I want to just plug for a moment. Spirit Baby Academy is where I work with the healer intuitives, the Spirit Baby kind of readers or people that want to expand in their spirit baby connections, right?
Yeah.
And why I'm saying that is this is why I wanted you on because Connie actually is a guest that comes in to that program and certification because she has the most brilliant information on how do you bring success. How do you know what to charge? How do you keep staying focused on something that you're so passionate about without feeling like and people can be very negative. I know people are like, oh, my family doesn't believe in me. And which is, I just saw this recently and it was like, it drove me a little crazy where the
Mm.
woman was like, I feel so disorganized and I want to speak. But my husband says I shouldn't speak about that. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, you're like, husband, like, no, that doesn't work that way. Like, I was like, you find your way. And I feel really lucky because my husband supports anything. He doesn't have to understand it, but he's 100% supportive. And when we don't have people to support us, what do you think, Connie? Like, how does that affect us, like in moving forward? If have you seen that with people and situations with clients?
Yeah. And I think that it goes back to, again, what I was saying before, creating character. So first of
Mm.
all, I would tune in to see if there's any resistance or subconscious beliefs that you have. Because maybe you're creating this character, somebody close to you, very, very close to you, because maybe
Mm.
you have resistance towards it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So it would be really good to see that. Like, am I embarrassed? Am I unsure? Do I feel like I can't do it? Like I wouldn't be able to do it? Like I'm not. One thing that I see a lot, especially with spiritual entrepreneurs, healers, holistic practitioners, they have a lot of doubt that they
Mm.
can help people.
Hmm.
Can I really heal people? Can
Mm.
I really make a difference? Well, who am I? How am I going to be any different? How am I going to really be able to make a difference in the world? And so a lot of them have these, blocks. And so they create characters. Well, I can't because my husband doesn't want to. I can't because
Yeah.
my mom doesn't want to. I cannot because my child doesn't want to. My parents don't want to. And so the first step is like really to look within and see, is this something that I'm creating from my subconscious beliefs that maybe I am not 100% secure or sure of myself for whatever reason, and to really look into that. And then the second step for me, like when I was, asking people who I admired and they would say basically it was a joke of a career or whatever, I kept going. I
Mm.
kept going. And that's the thing, like when you feel the call, you keep going and you don't make it about yourself. So even if you do realize that, it is maybe a subconscious belief, maybe it's, something that I'm feeling or whatever, you keep going, you keep at it. And that's the only way that you're going to get confident and feel good about doing the work is by doing it. I've known
Yes.
that's it. That's it. So you can study for 200 years.
Yes.
You can go on top of, the Himalayas and, meditate for 20 hours straight with a guru. You can do all these things, and which is great. I am the kind of person who every single day I am reading, I am listening to podcasts, I am watching YouTube videos. I am constantly, constantly researching, studying. I love it because it's my passion, right? I'm
Yeah.
passionate about it. So until the day I die, I just came back from doing a course. So I'm always seeking out new mentors. Till the
Mm.
day I die, that's going to be my life because I'm passionate about it. I always want to learn. But the main thing is to
Yeah.
just to start wherever you're at, to just start because that's what's going to make you an amazing spiritual entrepreneur, holistic practitioner, healer, is actually doing the work. And that's what's going to give you the confidence. It's
That's
not
what,
just
yeah, Connie,
saying.
that's a lot of what I do in the Spirit Baby Academy. A lot of the things that come up is we talk, and you'll probably be talking about that too coming up, because the thing is, I was told through a spiritual fertility expert who did business, she's like, you know what, Kelly, it's 80% confidence, the rest is like whatever. And I was like, wow, 80% confidence is pretty high. I was like, but it's so true. I'm like, wait, can I do that? I think we all go through those insecure moments. I know I share a lot in the Spirit Baby Academy when I started the work. I was like, what am I doing? Like, am I really doing this? Who's going to accept it? I'm going to do a whole website just with Spirit Baby. And I was reluctant, scared, but I did it anyways because I was like, what do I have to really lose? What? People are going to like not like me. There's always going to be people that don't like you and people that do like you. It doesn't really matter, but it does. I did have to build up my own inner core of confidence. And something else you said was, and a really big thing I teach a lot in the academy is experiential. And I said, even so, here's the thing, everybody loves Spirit Baby communication. That's definitely connecting to Spirit Baby radio. So it's kind of like I said, even if you're doing it for free, pro bono, doing it for sliding scale, put it out there. People show up. And I've had so many students in the years say, oh my gosh, I put it out on my platform and all these people wanted it. I said, see, people do want it. Like, but people are scared. Like, oh, I don't know. And what if I don't do it right? And I have this new module now that I'm doing in the academy, which I'll announce here because I think people really love it. Is that if you want to do reading work, I actually have a very tricky psychic method. Really, actually, it's names and
Ooh,
birthdays, and they have to tune in and read the energy without seeing the person. Without It's a very high level skill, but again, I want to push energy for
yeah,
people to experiment. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Ultimately, to be honest, it's more of developing, like you were saying, that experience and going out there and actually doing it. I think we've all done sessions and programs and teachings where like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have done it that way. Or, okay, I've already did it. Or, oh, that was weird. Or, all these things come up, but I think we keep picking away, working at it.
of course. That's how we learn.
Yeah.
That's exactly how we learn, and that's how, and your work always is going to evolve. Hopefully, it's always going to
Yeah.
evolve and change, and you see what you don't like, you see what you love to do. My work has always evolved. It's always been different in so many ways. I keep adding things, taking things out.
Yes.
It's whatever I'm passionate about in that moment, right? So but the bottom line is you just got to do it, because I know so many people that I trained with so many years ago who to this day are still, oh, well, I just need to get that one degree. Oh, well, I
Oh,
just need
right.
to, do that one course and then I'll feel good enough. I just need to do this
Mm.
one thing. And they're just eternal, perpetual learners. That's it. They're just going to be
What
learning
do you
their whole
call
life.
this like? Do you call this like I've seen this with some people like the excuses. Their excuses are really strong and valid, right? But I love how you shared about, well, what is the story that's created and what are those subconscious, because it's those people. Because I've heard or here's where I want to talk about. I've heard coaches in the past years tell me, I can't work with people. I don't know if I want to do it. It's they're not listening, or it's too much energy for me to hold. And that one really gets to me. I'm like, so you can't sit with people because their energy is too much for you, but you want to do it. What can you say about people that are like, "Oh, I'm so," and I get it. Like there are times where my energy does get like overwhelmed a little bit with too many people, too many issues, but I also am very conscientious of my self-care, so I
Yeah.
can just keep being a vessel where I'm not affected. But what do you say if someone's like, Connie, I'm trying to help this woman and she doesn't listen and I don't want to work with people and I'm feeling their energy. Like what would you say about that?
Well, first of all, absolutely. Self-care is absolutely crucial, especially because we feel at a different level. We feel our clients at a different level. So we really need to do self-care. But also, I think that people are not thinking outside the box,
Mm.
and they think that everything should look a certain way. You have to find what works for you with your
Mm.
client. What is it that would be something that you would be so passionate about? Could it be, for example, a one-on, this is something that I do, a one-on-one private retreat, right?
Mm.
In Sicily, in Ojai. I just added England,
Oh,
a private
nice.
retreat, because people think that it has to look like coaching has to look a certain way. It has to be, this, and it might not work for you. You might want to do it in a different way, but
Yeah.
still, it's going to, whatever way it is, it's going to be sacred and best for you. What brings out the best of you that you can in turn bring out the best in your clients. And it might be, so for some people, I've had clients who realized that coaching wasn't it, but writing was it. So they would write books
Wow.
And that was their way of serving humanity. Maybe coaching, they thought coaching would be the way, but they realized it was speaking that they really wanted to do. Kind of like what we were
Mm.
talking about earlier, where
Yeah.
instead of like sitting one on one, it was more like, here, I'm doing the speech, I'm giving you pearls of wisdom, I'm out.
Yeah.
Have you talked about that?
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. The
And
keynote,
so,
yes. That's really what
exactly.
they do. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So it depends on the person. It's like really trying to think outside
Mm.
the box, not be boxed in where it has to look a certain way. There are so many possibilities of beautiful things that you can do with clients. You can work maybe in groups, or if you don't like groups, you can do one-on-ones, or if you don't like that, you can lead retreats, private retreats, group retreats, writing, speaking. There's so much that you can do, healing instead of talking, so you can hands-on healing and learn
Yeah.
that. There are so many ways to heal and serve humanity. It doesn't have to look a certain way. But I do, what you said in the beginning is absolutely crucial, is the self-care,
Yeah.
and is crucial for all of us, is that we really do take care of our own energy and take care of ourselves when we work with clients. It's crucial. We have to take care of
Yeah.
ourselves.
Because I
Yeah.
know you're making me think about a lot of different things. I know for myself, like people have asked me, like, how do you, I was joining these other groups in town, Heal the Healers, and they're like, how do you just like, and I says, I've worked a long time with my nervous system to get to a place where when I'm in a session, I just go, I plug in. Like I don't do any rituals before and after. And I used to, but I don't really need to. I'm just, it's like my higher self and the energy that we're working with knows, all right, we're plugged in, we're plugging out. And sometimes if an energy stays with me, I go for a walk typically, or I actually, if it gets a little too riled up for me, I'll hula hoop.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm just like out breathing, just doing something different because I do think we have to be conscientious of that. And I love what you said about like it made me think of like other projects I've met with creative entrepreneurs like, oh, I'm going to do this. I want to be that life coach and I want to like, but then they're like, oh, all of a sudden they're like teaching kayaking or all of a sudden they're like teaching a musical. This actually was a woman, she does this kind of spiritual blindfolded and it's on my November podcast, Lee. And it's a blindfold, the kids see through it. It's this whole like, yeah, it's this whole amazing thing. But she teaches piano with it. Do you like how creative is that? So she's
That's
like
what
a
I'm
piano
saying.
teacher. So it's not like, and this is what I love because it's not like, oh, this is what you do and this is who you are. Her beautiful work she does, and it's really gorgeous and it's very unique. And she melted it together with different things that
Exactly.
just came up on its own because you don't go, oh, I'm going to learn psychic connection and piano playing. Like, it just kind of came to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not
No,
Googling.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell my clients when they come to me, is think of everything you've done thus far. I don't believe that that it's just because. I think there is a purpose to everything. And sometimes if we combine them, right, we
Yeah.
create something amazing and magical. I
Yeah.
knew this one woman who, she had done photography for so many years, and then she really was into spiritual healing, so she became a photographer for healers.
Oh, I
And she would
love
like
that.
take
Yes.
pictures specifically. See, the more
Yeah.
niche, like the more
Yeah.
specific, the better. People think that it's worse. It's actually better. So all the
Interesting. Okay.
healers and spiritual entrepreneurs would call her because she gets them, right? Calling just a regular photographer,
Yeah.
they wouldn't capture the sacred moments that, she knows exactly how to capture
Oh my
the
gosh.
essence.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's like, it's not just that. It's like there's so many things that you can do. Even podcasts, right? Some people
Yeah.
are gifted at interviews, right? And so it's really like, what do I love to do and how would I love to share this with the world? And
Mm.
you can really for example, what I do, like my passion, if I had to say my top two would be Sicily, right? I live in Sicily and I'm so passionate about this island. I'm passionate about eating
Yeah.
well and, seeing all the sacred sites and all the beautiful towns
Mm.
and going to bathe in the sea. And I'm very passionate about spirituality, right? So combine the two and you get these beautiful transformational retreats in on the island of Sicily. Like
I
who
love
does
it.
that? Like I don't know anybody else who's doing that. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, you did definitely create different things that I don't see that's typical. It reminds me of like the piano and using that psychic connection. I feel like that's the future of who we're becoming because when you said that, you're inspiring me, and I'm like, what are the two things? For me, it's obviously pregnancy, conception, birth loss, but I also have a passion for health intuitives and medical intuition. And so
see,
that's why I've combined them. And a lot of my Spirit Baby Academy alumni and students, they all do different things. Like somebody does hands-on body work and they're mixing in the baby stuff. Somebody's an
see,
acupuncturist. I've had a naturopath come through. I've had a psychotherapist come through. And they're just trying. And when they honestly, when they went into like the Spirit Baby, that was their little side passion. Some of them, their businesses really took off and they were hiding it because they were so scared to be criticized. Like, I'm a naturopath. I'm a midwife, or I'm like, a credentialed license, or I'm a psychotherapist. And I'm like, okay, then don't put it in your psychotherapy, or put a little side card on it and be the spirit baby coach or whatever. It doesn't really matter. You're serving people. And so I've seen that like dynamic. And I said, everyone can do it differently. Because when people come through the academy, I say, you don't have to be a spirit baby reader, but I do teach from that very strong high point for a reason. But I've had like, especially like a therapist that comes to mind. She's like, I just want to run groups with families that want to conceive. I said, that's great. This is going to add to whatever that is for you. So I like that we can learn things and take things, but something you said earlier that some people are perpetual trainers. And then I say, well, when are you going to fucking
learners,
go
yeah.
do it? Like, are you going to do it or not? Like, it's like that back to that experience thing again, because it's kind of like, how are we going to know unless we feel it and like actually do it?
A couple of things about what you just
Yeah.
said. First of all, going back to the woman who my client doesn't listen, one of the
Yeah.
questions, if that was my client, that I would ask is, where in life are you not listening?
Ah,
Because
interesting. Yeah.
because I don't know if you've noticed that we get clients that usually mirror a lot of things that are going on in our own life. I've gotten a lot of clients that have mirrored either past experiences or current
Mm.
experiences. And so I always want to explore, like, well, where is this coming from? Is there something in you? Again, because we're creating our own reality at all times. So where is it that you're not, right? You're not listening. And so that would be for
That's a
that
good
client.
one. But then you're
Yeah,
making people face themselves. Ooh, do they
yeah,
not like
yeah.
that? Do people battle you a little bit or no?
Oh my God, I've been doing this for a long
I
time.
know, Connie, you're
So
really good at this. I'll be like, throw this at Connie's way. She'll be like, bam. I'm like, oh. No, but some people I can see like in more of a coach environment to get like, no, you're wrong, or I don't like what you said, or I don't feel that, or maybe I don't know, I don't know if that like comes up, but maybe if it does, it's good for you because you're just learning about yourself and them, right?
yeah, and I never want to come across as like I know everything and you know nothing. That's definitely not the vibe that I want to go for. But because you know where I really feel like coaching becomes like a sacred moment, like an epiphany, is when they discover it, when
Yes.
they come to the conclusion, not when you tell them necessarily, but when they're like, oh, wait a minute, I just realized maybe I'm not listening. Maybe I'm not listening. I'm attracting people who are not
Mm,
listening, like stuff like that. Like it's more powerful than if you just feed everything to them. That would be
yeah.
one. The other thing that I was going to say about this perpetual learning thing, and so many people who do that, I've noticed over the years um, that a lot of people have plan Bs.
Hmm.
they
Okay.
they and I will never forget. I always bring this up because I feel like it's just such a good example. Ed Sheeran was being interviewed by Howard Stern, and Howard Stern was asking him, you had so many friends who were in the music industry with you, who were musicians, I should say, who were musicians. How come you're the only one who became successful? What
Oh,
happened to your
wow.
friends?
Yeah.
And he said, because they had plan B. I never had a plan B. I had
Wow.
plan A. And I've seen that
Mm,
over and over and over again with so many people in the holistic community, where as soon as it gets hard, they're like, well, I'll just go
mm.
into real estate. That's safe,
Yes.
right? I'll just go into real estate, or I'll just go into, and real estate is great if that's your passion. If you're passionate about selling houses,
Yes.
that's amazing. But what I'm saying is people who truly they want to, do sound bath healings, and here they
Yeah.
are selling houses because they feel like, it got too hard and they weren't able to do it.
Yeah.
Again, it's going to be challenging. There are going to be
Yeah.
moments where it's going to feel really, really hard. And this is why knowing your why is so important.
Mm.
What is your why? And that why is going to be like the beacon of light that's going to keep you going and going. Like, this is my why. And no matter what, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to
Yeah.
get myself a mentor who's already done this, been through it, and I can, ask them,
Mm.
how did you do it? Right? Because
Yeah.
Tony Robbins always says success leaves clues. And it's true. There are people who have been through it. They can help you, give you all the tools. But a lot of people try to do it alone. And as soon as it gets hard, they're like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. It's too hard. I give up. And I never gave up. You never gave up.
Yeah.
And that's why we are here today. And I've seen so many people who are so incredibly gifted.
Mm.
I knew that this was their passion, but they gave up. They decided to go for the safe job, whatever job it was, whatever job it is, teaching, whatever it
Yeah.
is. They went for the safe job because they got too scared and it was
And they had a
too,
plan B. They had a plan B.
they
But I
had a
think
plan
it's
B.
true because I always had only a plan A too
Yeah,
myself. And then I was like,
yeah.
well, and then like I said, like we said earlier, there were times where I was like, uh-oh, like what's happening? I'm like it's getting a little quiet. And I'm thinking about when I was like in the beginning of my work and like the start of it, I'm like, I would put a program or something out, a small little workshop, and like nobody would show up. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm like, oh, that feels bad inside. But then I was like, it's okay. I'm just gonna
That
move
was my life.
forward. Yeah, I was like, okay. And then now I think just with my experience and I think if you Google Spirit Baby, there's so much stuff about me that comes up. So I've built
Uh-huh.
that through the actually my pod a lot of people say like there's so many different angles to business. I said my biggest business card I had no idea would be is my podcast. I had no idea. Because like you said, I was like, I literally was in my little Topanga room and I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a podcast called Spirit Baby Radio? And I said, I don't know if I can do this. So I literally wrote 1 to 50 and I started going, let's see if you come up with 50 topics about this. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, I literally wrote 50, like one is conception, pregnancy, special needs, miscarriage, birth loss, children of the future. And I just kept writing them. And I looked at it and I go, yeah, maybe I can do it. Uh, I wasn't sure yet. I got through my first 10, which was just me talking. And I thought, okay, if you make it to 10, everybody says you have a podcast. So I was like, all right. And then I started inviting guests on. And out of all the episodes I have, I've invited everybody, but maybe one or two people. I'm very weird about that, to be honest. I get emails from time to time, solicitations, but I don't, I want to be inspired. So I'll see someone on Instagram. I go, oh, I wonder, I'm so impulsive and in the moment. And this is how I run my business. And a lot of people don't understand that because my husband's like, what? And I go, no, I'm going to go with something. And then it becomes something. Like it doesn't have to always be super planned, but that's my process. But and then I'm just like, oh, and I'm like, yeah. And then I had the podcast, and people say they find me and they get to hear my energy and who I am because it's like, who are we hiring to work with us? What's that feel like? So when people ask me like, hey, I do get once in a while, I get a really long email like that, like wants to know everything I do in a session. And I always tell them like, hey, listen to my podcast, feel it out. Like I always like trust your intuition. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm not like, I feel like here, Spirit Baby Radio, feel the energy. Like, who is this person? What is she about? So that's been like a blessing of and it's been good for my ability to speak and like have a conversation and grow and learn. And this, I know a lot of women, we have a lot of throat stuff, right? As I did too, growing up, it was like, but now it's like, oh, speaking, speaking, speaking. Now I told you earlier, there's speaking like more coming, but I actually was told, my higher self told me like 10 years ago. Like I was on the acupuncture table. I was like, why aren't you? I felt all this energy come to me. Like, why aren't you speaking? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because I was scared, Connie. I was like, there's the fear was more
Oh,
powerful.
yeah. Yeah.
And then I got the message and I was like, you know what? Life is too short now. The energies are thinning out. So much is happening in the universal energies and the intergalactics. I was like, what do I have to lose, really? You're going to be insecure because you're not going to try to do something. Who cares? Like, we all fall on our face sometimes. right? And
And you
you're
know
right,
what you do?
having somebody makes a huge difference.
It
Having that
does.
mentor that like, because even if it's just like, oh, like I don't believe in myself, and then it's like, okay, let's just
Yeah.
sit with just having someone hold that, I think is so, so powerful.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, having a cheerleader who could
Yes.
cheer you on and say you
It
can do it.
changes
No,
your
you can
energy.
changes
Yeah.
everything. But I was gonna say, you know what you do really, really, really well is you follow your intuition.
Yeah. Thank you.
You
I'd like to
you're
believe I
really,
do.
but even everything that you were just saying,
Yeah.
that's your intuition. You were
Yeah.
like, why don't you just do this? That's weird. Okay, I'll do it. Like, all right, I'll do it. And then
Yeah.
but so many people, not so many people, everyone
There's too much
gets
thinking.
hits of
Yeah.
intuition, but they don't go through it because
Yeah.
fear. Like, well, like you were saying, like, well, what
Yeah.
if I'm not good at it? Well, what if I fail?
Yeah.
Well, what if what's worse is being 90 years old on a rocking chair
Yes.
saying, what if?
I know.
What if I would have done that podcast? I could have changed. And look at you. How many years has it been that you've been doing this podcast?
2016. How many
If
years
you
is
would
that?
not have followed your intuition,
Yeah.
and again, we're only 29. If you had
That's
not
right. That's
followed,
right.
if you had not followed your intuition, you wouldn't have
Yeah.
created this extraordinary platform, right?
I
But
know. I felt, yeah, that's true. I
you went
created
with
this
it.
whole, yeah, and then it kept building it, and then I was just like, oh, and I am very proud of myself, what I've built, because people don't
Yes.
realize it's not like it just came to me, and I had to work on so many different parts of it to build it, to create it, and I think that's now I call it Spirit Baby Inc. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because I'm like, you know what? Like, this is it. This feels good. And I do branch out. Like, the medical intuitive has really got my heart. And I was like, how am I mingling it? And then I'm actually working more. I don't know if you know this with children, like outside. I call it unconventional therapy for children because I'm very
Ooh.
unconventional. Yeah. And, I'm going to do things that are very somatic oriented, but very real. I'm not like, but also working with death with babies, actually, babies that have little time left. I was like, these are, interesting sparks. And they challenged me. And I was like, oh, am I going to do it? And my point in sharing that is like, I was scared to do things, even new things that come in. But I'm like, I feel like I could be of service to it, right? That's the thing we feel. But then we have our ego stuff going, well, maybe you can't handle it. Like, and I cried. I'm not gonna lie. I worked with this family and their baby, they knew their baby was gonna die. And I cried after for them. I went outside and cried because I feel. And I know, even though we had a beautiful session, a few sessions, and we laughed and we were just, I think I bring a little bit of humor into my sessions to lighten the energy. Just, I think accidentally, because I'm not like, oh, here's the joke I'm interjecting,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah,
comes
yeah.
off that way because I feel like, gosh, the tragedy that some people have to go through, we
Yeah.
do have to smile and laugh, and other times just deeply cry and feel it. So I feel like even as an entrepreneur that I'm still expanding and pushing myself. And I want to
Yeah.
say that because yeah, there are things that are very easy for me to do. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Conception sessions, they're very easy for me to do. But I was like, "Oh, what
I thought you were
about
going to say
these?"
conception is very easy for me.
No,
I was
no,
like,
conception. No, I'm not having babies. I'm done with the babies. But no, just helping women with infertility and miscarriage, and then even working with pregnancy like that. But then I was like, oh, is there this other area to challenge me to just kind of shift the right? And I want to say that because I want the entrepreneurs to know that, yeah, dude, it's not just always one thing. That like maybe you have a product, maybe you have a book, and it, like you said, it leads to other things. And I think that's what's so freaking exciting. Like,
yeah.
oh, you almost don't know. I kind of think that's good and spontaneous. Like, well, let's see what happens. That's my motto. Like, I could totally fail that and it may not work. And I've had many projects go, oh shit, that's not going to work. Or deadlines. I'm very bad with deadlines. So I'm like, oh, I guess that's not coming out. Like, I'm so bad with that. Like, I'm just like, okay, like nothing I could do. You can write it on post-it notes and like, but it's like, okay, I'm trying.
But that's the thing. We're not going to
Yeah.
be extraordinary at everything, right? So but you are so talented in so many different things, and it's so beautiful that you're actually doing them because how many people are out there that have
Yeah.
all these hidden talents and they're not, because of fear, they're
Yeah.
not bringing them to the world. And you, like, I love that you get this intuition, you get this hit, and you go, okay, I'm going to do it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And then it turns out beautifully, right? And some things don't. And
Some
that's
things don't, but it's
okay.
a learning,
Some
you
things don't.
said.
It's just, you
It's
just
it's it's
learn.
really good to learn because I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, damn, okay, maybe I would do that different or look at that. And I think now I've been in it for so long. In the beginning, I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, I suck. We do that whole thing. But then it's like, okay, you step up, you do it because your heart says, let's do this. And
Yeah.
we're coming to the end. I want to share just ways that people can find you and any December upcoming events that you have, or even in the new year. I feel like I know you've done things through Facebook at one time, or do you do like events or conversations or
I do so much.
yeah, I know.
Well, like I said, I live in Italy, but I go in December to Los Angeles. And so I always lead retreats in beautiful Ojai. And so if you want I do private retreats, so one-on-one retreats, and I do group retreats. So that's going to be in December, maybe early January. I don't have the date yet. But then my retreats in Sicily, Italy as well. The way you can find me, I'm literally all over social media. Connie Costa, exclusive Sicily tours as well. You could put either Connie Costa exclusive Sicily tours, and you'll find me on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram. You'll find me everywhere. But yeah, there are a lot of dates that I'm still in the works, right? But those are the main things, my spiritual retreats. And I just added England, which I'm
Yay.
very excited about. So yeah, that's what's coming up. Very excited.
So I always feel like any final just messages if somebody's like, oh yeah, I'm totally like in line with healer entrepreneurship, like any like what is, I shared your beautiful saying from before, but anything else that comes to mind to give to people.
Honestly, just do it. Just start. Just start. The world isn't waiting for perfection. The world is just waiting for you.
Mm,
And when you don't make it, see what a lot of people do is they make it about themselves.
mm,
We have to think that we're just channels of
mm,
God. And instead of making it about us, where am I going to do the wrong thing? Am I going to say the wrong thing? Am I not going to be able to do it? Just open yourself up to service. Every morning you can wake up and say, God, how do you want me to serve today? I'm
mm,
going to be an open channel. Before I do anything, whether it's a podcast, an interview, or a session or a retreat, I always ask God, even before this, I just say, channel through me, speak
mm,
through me. How do you want me to serve? However way you want me to serve, but just go out and do it. However it looks. By doing it, the more you do it, the more you're going to get experience, the more you're going to get confidence, and the more you're going to be able to heal the world. But just start wherever you're at. Wherever you're at, you're perfect. And then that's it. That's all you got to do. And then if things come, if like us, both of us, right? If you fall, just get right back up and be like, okay, I learned that's not the best way, right? Like maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. Maybe I should do it differently, right? Maybe I should, and just keep going. Just keep going. Do not give up. Do not have plan B. Just keep going. Just figure out what is your why, figure out what your purpose is, figure out what is your why, and have that always in your head and never give up.
mm.
That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Connie, for being here. So amazing. We can just speak for hours. There's so much really just very empowering, enlightening topics to keep going forward into.
It went by so fast. Thank you so much, Kelly, for your light, the light that you bring to this world, the blessings that you bring to this world, the gifts that you bring to this world. What you're doing is such important work. You've
Mm,
been doing it for so long, and you're a pioneer in this. You really are. And it's because you had, you know, the guts to follow your intuition and to just do it. And however it looked, it looked. And with years came wisdom, with years came experience.
mm,
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. You just did it. And what's even more inspiring is that you did it when people told you, this is not how you learn. This is, you're doing it all wrong.
mm,
And you just proved to everyone, F you, Not only I have a book, an extraordinary book out there that, is helping the world, like, right? Like, that's why it's so important not to listen to the naysayers and to just, you know, listen to our intuition and to our heart and just keep going no matter what people say.
Again, thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And I want to thank everybody for joining episode 231, Passion and Creativity, the Heart Service of Entrepreneurship. Thank you for joining Spirit Baby Radio with your host, me, Kelly Meehan. Please join my community and stay in touch with monthly energy rants, Spirit Baby poetry, and get access to Spirit Baby 101 with tips and practices at my newsletter at newearthchildren.com. And join me on Instagram with lives at Spirit Baby Medium, and join the Mighty Networks, the Spirit Baby Collective membership, and Motherhood to Mediumship. Remember, you are the heart that holds communication, and it is your time to connect. Come share in the great shift of your mind and the true spirit of your heart with Spirit Baby Communication.